Hi, everyone. Welcome to this live show related to living a life of possibilities. So, my name is Aaron. I'm really honored to be on this platform doing this talk related to this. Now, the reason why I do this is very simple, is because recently I have a couple of friends that asked me a very simple question. Aaron, do you know what you're doing in life? I always reply that I'm living my life with passion and the things that I like to do. They'll be always astounded and telling me that I simply feel lost. I'm not good enough. I just don't do well. I feel a lot of pressure and stress in life. Now, how many of you actually do face like that? Now, for me, I do face that when I was very young. Now, for those of you who do not know my backstory, I'm going to share a little bit about my backstory. Before I become a world champion in public speaking, and also in terms of impromptu wise, and TED, and also TEDx Speaker, I was an extreme introvert. I don't like to share my stories. I don't like to talk with people because sometimes talking to people freaks me out. I just don't feel that if I talk more about my own personal stuff, I I really feel that I might be endangered. So during my secondary school days, I was being bullied and suffered a very huge fallback, lost nearly everything, and trying to find my life purpose. I always think that I'm not good enough because they're always bullying me. I might be the someone that they don't like. I don't have any value. I'm just a person in millions of people around the world. But things do change when I start to do public speaking and share my stories. As I grow up, I engage with different speaking gigs, even like English corner groups, talk about my life and sharings. And I start to discover that stories really connect with the world. So this talk for today, I wish to really help and empower the community on two simple things. Number one, what really sets you on this journey of possibilities? And also, secondly, how do you achieve it? So for me, I find the thing that I like and combine it into my lifetime passion. I have a secret dream that I want to create a public speaking university that every single institution, companies around the world will welcome it. It's solely devoted into public speaking. It helps people who wants to share their stories, be a speaker, be a corporate trainer. And this dream of mine really aims far. But I already make some progress on that. Like start training some universities, do courses with different companies. Yeah, I'm making there, but it's still a long way to go. The first thing that many people always doubt themselves is I'm not good enough. And this is common when I hear from people. This is what we call mindset limitations. And when we actually have mindset limitation itself, we are actually restraining our possibilities, what we can do by finding, instead of opportunities, we find excuses. The excuses to actually justify every single thing. And even most importantly, it just reject all the possibilities that you can see. You feel less hopeful. You doubt yourself more. You're in this infinite loop of impossibility. Only by taking actions and from 0 to 1, you start making progress. So back in the days when I was young, I start speaking. I start to connect with people. I start to really train on public speaking. And when I actually went to my first speaking gig, I was being booed off the stage too. I'm not made for that material. People don't like what I'm saying. People just think that, hey, you're just an entertainer, you're a clown, you're a waste of money. The first lesson that I learned about mindset change is when you do things that you like to do, always think about the audience that you're influencing. Who are your audience around you? If you're working in corporates, if you're working in organizations, who are the audience around you? Every single word that you say, every actions is being viewed. And they always question about themselves. What is it in for them? We call that as value. So first thing to break from mindset limitation to mindset with infinite possibilities is thinking about the value that you can give to them and to yourself. It's not just pleasing them, okay? We have speakers around the world or even like employees trying to please, trying to serve, trying to provide service endlessly and forgot about their own identity. And that's not the direction that we're going for. We're actually going for the way whereby, hey, there is a chance whereby I can improve myself. I can be a better version of myself. And that's what I want to leave with you on that one. First lesson. The mindset limitations to mindset possibility starts with finding value for yourself and finding the value for people. Now, to finding the value, we have a term for it called purpose. And if you don't have a purpose in life or purpose in things that you do, chances are you will creep somewhere in your life. You start to stop there and it becomes a big kind of obstacle stone. And you do not want that. You just want to actually move forward and really make improvements possibilities there. So as I go along, I do trainings, I start to discover the possibility of what public speaking will be like. I start out as a speaker. I start off as a competitor because I love competitions. I love to see what other competitors have. So I compete in over like hundreds. We call it thousands, really. I think by now it's thousands of contests. And every single contest, I actually realize that there's something for me to improve and there's something for me that I can learn from opponents. There will be some of my fellow competitors that will be like really depressed, sad. Why didn't I win the trophy? Why isn't me? I'm better than that person. No, here comes lesson number 2. Now, this lesson number 2, we call it as stop comparing, start acting. We always compare with our peers, our fellow competitors, for example. Some people fare better than the others. Some blame the judges. Some blamed everything. But when you start blaming, you start wasting time on things that you could improve on yourself. So when I was competing, I actually went into that loop for the first 3 months. Think about that in live comparison. In your workplace, there will always someone better than you in your workplace. There's always someone better than you in sports, for example. But does that mean that that stops you? Some actually just say that person is destined to actually have a better career path than me. You leaving things to fate. We call that as excuse. Why not find chances for you to find that little opportunity or hole that you can go for? For me, when I was competing, I learned a lot of different techniques, eye contacts, the basic stuff. But what defines a speaker? There are professionalisms. There are people who being very empathetical, authentic, true, deep in their voice. Quite a lot of vocal varieties. Some people are really great at acting. Some people even perform magic tricks there. From a speaker's point of view, I think that's amazing. I'm not that good at speaking with magic tricks because my hands are quite numb. Literally, I don't have that capacity. But that doesn't stop me there. I explore the possibilities. I actually tried magic tricks. To this very day, I still fail at it. But that doesn't let me slip up because that's only part of the tools that I'm using it as a public speaking. Sometimes I just use it as a joke. Look, there are some things that I'm not good at, but doesn't mean that I can't go far. So as we go along, we have different things that we try to overcome. Stop comparing, start acting. Every time you compare, you're always trying to find reasons to beat yourself down because you are your own biggest opponent. Not them, not anyone, not even the best opponent in your industry, but yourself. So number 2, stop comparing. I only find what can I appreciate for them. Use appreciation to break this loophole. Now, as I move further in my career ladder, I start to work in TEDx events, and we start to see a lot of different changes. empowering people from speaker to coach, from speaker to trainer. I do a lot of different things. As long as it's related to public speaking, I still do it because it's kind of like my thing. I just like speaking, depending on the time zone. Just kidding. But we were talking about how we can interact with people. Interacting with people, I find the second purpose in my life is to discover their stories, how engaging their stories will be like. And that really fascinates me. Now, the third thing to think about possibilities is how we create fantasy into reality. We always dream big, dream far, but we don't fantasize it. That's a bit different. Dream and fantasy are two different things. Dream is just like you're dreaming something, you're aiming for, there's a direction, but fantasy is like, hey, I'm staying curious. Wow, I'm still keeping myself amazed. That fantasy, we call it as a combination of, we call hope, we call it as curiosity, and also, we also crave as a form of purpose. It empowers it as we go along. Because if just think about public speech or even like a movie theater, if you watch it until somewhere, sometimes some people will feel bored out. Same thing. In life itself is quite a long journey. You feel tired, you feel bored, you try to doubt yourself already. Try to justify, maybe there's a change, there's a need for it. That's where this comes lesson number 3. Fantasize your dreams. Fantasy is where you stay curious, you stay passionate towards it. So from public speaker, I started become a coach. I started to coach different speakers around the world. Some end up on the TED stage, some end up TEDx Speaker stage, some even end up in everywhere, like speaking gigs. We have celebrities, etc. I feel honored instead of being super, super proud because I think that, hey, it's their achievement. They spend some time, but it's just that, hey, I'm happy to be there on that journey. The final thing to think about possibilities itself is to be appreciative for who you are. People just set themselves back because they never appreciate themselves for their worth. They think, I'm just not good enough. Sometimes it does happen to me too. When I was training, coaching, corporate training, I started to see that, hey, I have my own flaws. Is it my limit yet? I start to appreciate, hey, maybe, just maybe, I have something better than that. Look at my past journey. Appreciate and reflect the things that you've done. It's no simple feat. For the past 10, 20, 30, 40 years, there's something that you have already created. And that makes who you are. Don't stop there. There's still 10, 20, 30 years. Even if we have patients, for example, a couple of my clients, not one, well, a couple of my clients are diagnosed with terminal illness, disease. They still feel hopeful that they want to live for another day. They want to live for another day to create something meaningful before they passed on. Well, some do pass on. But those who stay faithful actually see miraculous results. From terminal illness, they start to recover because they appreciate everything, single thing in their life. Possibilities are meant to be appreciated too. Never doubt yourself on what you cannot do, but what you can do. If you don't see anything around you that you can do, hey, I only have one thing to tell you to you. You're not looking close enough. There's something in you that's always meant to be appreciated, meant to be fantasized, meant to really move it, and also help you to empower your own purpose. So as my story goes, from public speaker to trainer to coach, the competitiveness, and now being a 2-time TEDx speaker, aiming to be 3rd and 4th because I received invitations already. I aim to be like a TEDx speaker maybe in at least 5 countries. That's a little dream of mine, milestone. Still okay. And it takes me a while to add up to who I am today. After many setbacks, even when I was the pioneer of when I was introducing hybrid online VR hologram back in the days, like in 2009, people laugh that I am someone that's being silly and idiot. Really. I have been commented on that before. But look at what we are doing right now. It's because we think about possibilities and we can avoid crisis. Every single crisis lies an opportunity. If without those opportunities, there's no flexibility, there's no solutions to different crises as we call it as challenges in your lifetime. Only through possibilities, then you can create opportunities for yourself. And possibilities do not need to be super big, super far reach. It can be just start small, think big. I'll see you on my journey. I welcome you on my journey, and I also wish to know about your journey too. So I hope that if you can recall all these past lessons that I've just mentioned through my life, what are they? If you can recall, you can type in the chat box. Now, with a final note on where I am right now, speaker, trainer, coach, even training the youth right now into very great, successful speakers on the stage and contestants, helping them to really reach that dream university of their own choice. I'm now actually researching more on communications with people who are in vegetable state, brain dead. I want to really hope to restore families for where they are. I want to restore those bonds, the missing bonds. Imagine the moments of people can't even talk, just like it before when we actually have a conversation with you online right now. We need to fly over there. Now it's very simple. Internet connections, we can talk everywhere. But what about those people who wish to talk but can't talk? And that's where I'm actually focusing right now. Are they helping refugees who wish to voice out? Prisoners who wish to speak up to help those young generations to prevent from falling into crimes? I also help on that one. I want to focus on things that are currently seeming to be impossible to make it possible. So we are making far progress than before with AI technologies and everything. I never imagined that from me, who is just a speaker originally, or maybe like extreme introvert, to now I'm making a lot of different progress that I never imagined before. So never stop there. Start small, think big. Be appreciative, fantasize your goals. What are the other two? Finding your purpose. And what is the last one? I leave this question to you. And thank you for your time.